Hello people, good mornings. Another beautiful day. Yeah, hope your five senses work, health and strength is good or excellent. What? What's up Steam Deck fans? You know, Steam Deck Tribe, Steam Deck Nation, Steam Deck Universe, Steam Deck World, Steam Deck Legion, what's good? Steam Deck Mob, what's happening? Y'all don't want it? Sitting here playing your Steam Deck Squad, what's up? And to you Steam Deck nerds, geeks, and freaks, what's happening? Alright, we're talking about the Asus ROG though, but you know, it's a Steam Deck thing. You Steam Deck fans, you and your deals, you and your games, and you and your updates. We couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run. Get out of here, Steam Deck fans. Ha! Anyway, what's up with it? Look, sitting here talking about the ROG. Listen to this. What's up, Tom's Hardware? What's up, Tweak Town? What's up, Tech for Gamers? What's up, WCCF Tech? What's happening? Alright, look. Let me get into this real quick. Steam Deck fans. And, by the way, Gabe Noel. We need our you know Europe needs some Steam Decks though. Don't you know that, don't you? Anyway, says here, running Linux on the Asus ROG doesn't help battery life. Changing operating system won't squeeze out more playtime. But they're comparing the Asus ROG Ally versus the Steam Deck. So, you know, the Steam Deck is a force to be reckoned with, man. ever since they came out with this thing, this little handheld been doing damage. Oh yeah. And as far as Starfield go, give it time. Like I said, it comes down to who? Microsoft, Bethesda, Valve, AMD, and then it's going to come down to what? Testing, optimization, and communication. Give it time. It'll show up. Be patient, man. You Steam Deck fans are always getting spoiled, though. Anyway, listen to this. Got this nice little article here from Tom's Hardware. Let's get into this thing. It says, okay, running Linux on the ROG Ally doesn't help battery life. Changing operating system won't squeeze out more playtime. Says here, Valve Steam Deck runs Linux and Windows, while Asus ROG Ally is a Windows machine. Both are computers, so you can install what you want on them. Phoronix compare Valve Steam Deck and the new Asus ROG Ally on Linux explicitly to see which handheld console is better at gaming under similar operating system. With the OS swapped from Windows 11 to Arch Linux on the ROG Ally, the performance margin between the two consoles didn't change much. The ROG Ally exhibits superior gaming performance to the Steam Deck, but the Steam Deck was able to outperform the ROG Ally in power, efficiency, and battery life. Says here, testing the ROG Ally on Linux is definitely an interesting proposition, since many Linux distros arguably features less bloatware than Microsoft's latest Windows 11 operating system, which could improve performance and battery life. Linux version also comes with different AMD-based drivers that can change the performance behavior, and then it says in parentheses scheduling, of the AMD Ryzen CPU in Linux compared to Windows, which can potentially improve performance in some cases. But according to Phoronix testing, installing Linux on the ROG Ally didn't change its behavior compared to running games on Windows 11. The handheld was still faster than the Steam Deck in the right performance profile, but still lost the race in efficiency, with the Steam Deck consuming far less power than the ROG Ally. Then it says here, even when the ROG Ally was running in its more powerful, efficient mode, the handheld could only match performance of the Steam Deck in most cases and was unable to drastically outperform it. We couldn't find a game the Steam Deck couldn't run. What is wrong with you people? Anyway, it says here, then it shows the chart here. Yeah, that Steam Deck is a problem. It says here, Steam Deck, approximately power consumption of 1593 joules power run. ROG Ally approximate power consumption of 1591 joules power run. ROG Ally performance approximately power consumption of 3099 joules power run. Says here, for instance, in Cyberpunk 2077, the ROG Ally ran an average 61 frames per second with Arch Linux ACPI performance profile, but dropped down to 45 FPS when running in the OS standard power profile. The Steam Deck, which is still running Steam OS, was able to almost match the ROG Ally in its non-performance power settings, outputting 44.66 FPS average. In non-performance, oh Steam Deck, you bad boy. Anyway, says here, in terms of power consumption, the Steam Deck was massively better, consuming an average of just 10.76 watts in Cyberpunk 2077. Yeah, it's a Steam Deck thing. Yeah, Gabe Newell, they did their homework on this. They really did their homework on this when they came out with the Steam Deck. They weren't holding no punches here. When they said the Steam Deck was running on full power, they meant it was running on full power. So yeah, the Steam Deck is no joke. It says here 10.76 watts in Cyberpunk 2077, while the ROG see if I can get this here. Another pop-up. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, look. Valve did its homework on this. Okay, they did their homework on this. They weren't. The Steam Deck is no pushover, man. It's no pushover by any stretch of the imagination. Anyway, see if I can catch up to this here. Okay, where was I at? Now, before that little pop-up showed up. Okay, say 10.76 watt in Cyberpunk 2077, while the ROG Ally in its performance preset consumed 30 watts of power, 3 times more power than the Steam Deck. Sadly, the ROG Ally more power efficient profile doesn't save it here, and still consume more power than the Steam Deck, coming in at 14.77 watts average. Cyberpunk 2077 was one of the worst case scenarios for the ROG Ally. However, most of Phoronix testing suits still exhibited similar behavior. The only benchmark that didn't see this behavior were the CPU tests, which unsurprisingly shows substantially better performance with the ROG Ally in all circumstances compared to Steam Deck, thanks to the far newer Zen 4 architecture and 4 additional CPU cores. Coming back to Linux specifically, Phoronix result aligned closely with our new review of the ROG Ally running Windows 11, in that the Steam Deck was able to greatly outperform the ROG Ally in battery life and power efficiency in the console performance profile. Sure, you could back down to a more power efficient mode, but you're getting the same performance as the Steam Deck with hardware that is 2 generations newer. Phoronix results prove that the ROG Ally efficiency difference are mostly likely related to the hardware and cannot be rectified with an OS swap. And that is that. Yeah. The Asus ROG Ally is a good handheld. Ain't gonna knock. Got a better. I got a Zen 3. What's this? Zen 3, and it's pretty good. But the Steam Deck, man, I think people underestimate the Steam Deck too much of what it can really do. You know, and with the updates and the updates that it's been getting since it's been out, and then you take all the developers that that contributed to make the Steam Deck possible. they're making sure that this Steam Deck stays up to speed when it comes to running games and performance, man. Sure, I mean, sure the ROG Ally is powerful, but the Steam Deck is no pushover by any means, by any stretch of the imagination. Yep. You know, and just because you switch operating system, that don't mean you're gonna get more power out of it, which is true. You know, some operating systems are suited for some handhelds. The Steam Deck can do both Windows and Linux. So could the Asus ROG. So could the Asus ROG. But the Steam Deck was especially built for Linux, but it still can run Windows. But I think the Asus ROG is more built for Windows. You know, so yeah. Both them handhelds, them some bad boys, man. they ain't no joke. But you got the Steam, but Phoronix is letting people know that like the Steam Deck is no pushover, man. Not by any stretch of the imagination, man. And you test it with Cyberpunk too, and that game is very demanding, you know. And it's letting you know like you got the ROG Ally Steam Deck. It's like might as well get both, you know. Yeah. What it says here, Cyberpunk, the ROG Ally ran an average of 61 FPS with Arch Linux performance profile, but dropped down to 45 watts when running in the OS standard profile. The Steam Deck, which is still running Steam OS, was able to almost match the ROG Ally in its non-performance power settings, outputting 44.66 FPS. Oh yeah. Then it says in terms of power consumption, the Steam Deck was massively better, consuming an average of just 10.76 watts in Cyberpunk 2077. While the ROG Ally in its performance preset consumed 30 watts of power, 3 times more power than the Steam Deck. Sadly, the ROG Ally more powerful, efficient profile doesn't save it here and still consume more power than the Steam Deck, coming in at 14.77 watts. Oh yes, so for those people who are talking about battery life about the Steam Deck, they really need to do their research on this, man. Phoronix is letting it be known that the Steam Deck is no pushover, you know. It says here, Cyberpunk was the worst case scenario for the ROG Ally. However, most of Phoronix testing still exhibits similar behavior. The only benchmark that didn't see the behavior were CPU tests, which, unsurprisingly, showed substantially better performance ROG Ally in all circumstances compared to the Steam Deck, thanks to the far newer Zen 4 architecture. Okay. Alright, we get it. It says here, coming back to Linux specifically, Phoronix resulting closely with our own review of the ROG Ally running Windows 11, in that the Steam Deck was able to greatly outperform the ROG Ally in battery life and power efficiency in the console performance profile. So people that were talking about the Steam Deck battery life, they really need to do their research on this. Now Phoronix is showing people that like the Steam Deck is no pushover, man. It's no pushover. So yeah, just because you got this, the ROG Ally might have Zen 4, but the Steam Deck is no chopped liver. You know? Yeah. Good article too, by the way, Tom's Hardware. Good article. But yeah, Steam Deck is a good handheld, man. And they're selling out quick. ROG Ally is pretty good too. You know? I mean, I've seen videos where they were talking about trying to say Jedi Survivor isn't running well on the Steam Deck, and I seriously doubt that, because Valve and AMD was working. I mean, not Valve and EA, not AMD. Valve, AMD, and EA, they were all working together. So I would say Jedi Survivor runs really well on the Steam Deck. You know, just saying. But Other than that, man, two great handhelds. They're pretty good. But the Steam Deck is a force to be reckoned with. Anyway, leave this video for y'all to enjoy. Nice talking to you people again. Chris, still a Star Wars and Star Trek thing. Or Dark Side. Peace.